welcome back to our deep dive into dementia.
It's great to be back.
In our last episode, we sort of set the stage right.
Yeah, we did.
We talked about what dementia is,
Yeah?
the impact it has on people and families.
Mm-hmm.
And this time we're taking things in a bit of a different direction.
Okay.
We're going to look at the role of technology in early detection of dementia.
All right.
So we're going to be talking about things like social robots
Okay.
and
Interesting.
wellness monitoring radars,
Mm-hmm.
all these tools that can help identify, subtle changes
Right.
in behavior and health that could be early warning signs of dementia.
Fascinating.
And this is just part one
Oh, wow.
of a 4-part series.
Okay.
So we've got a lot to unpack.
Looking forward to it.
Now, before we get too deep into the specifics,
Yeah.
I think it's important to address a question that might be on some of our listeners' minds.
Okay.
Are older adults the people most affected by dementia? Are they actually comfortable using this new technology?
That's a great question. And, researchers at AARP have actually been looking into that.
Really?
And what they found is that people 50 and older are embracing technology at rates that might surprise you.
Oh, wow.
So we're talking about smartphones and smart TVs,
Uh-huh.
tablets. They're
Yeah.
using it all.
So that stereotype of older adults being, tech-averse,
Right.
that's officially busted.
Well, it's not quite that simple.
Okay.
While the adoption rates are really impressive, the same research revealed that only about 2/3 of those 50 and over feel truly confident in their digital skills. And that confidence actually drops as people age.
I see.
And there's one detail I found particularly interesting.
Okay.
64% of this age group feel that technology isn't designed with their needs in mind.
Wow.
So that's a pretty significant perception gap, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, and it raises a really important question.
Yeah.
If we're creating technology to help with something as sensitive as dementia,
Right.
are we designing it in a way that's truly user-friendly for the very people who need it most?
For sure.
We don't want to create something that ends up being more of a burden than a help.
Exactly.
Right.
This highlights the importance of what we call design thinking.
Okay.
Involving older adults in the development process from the very beginning, getting their feedback, ensuring that these tools are intuitive and empowering. It can't just be about the tech itself.
Right.
It's about creating a positive experience for the user.
Absolutely. Now, this brings to mind another critical aspect that was highlighted in those aged care business tips.
Okay.
The importance of change management when integrating new technologies, particularly in aged care settings.
Oh, that's crucial.
Right.
Imagine trying to introduce a new AI-driven care management system in a facility
Right.
where the staff are already stretched thin,
Yeah.
possibly resistant to change.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for disaster.
So how do we avoid that?
Right.
How do we ensure a smooth transition and get everyone on board?
Well, it starts with strong leadership and clear communication from the top down. Everyone needs to understand not just how the technology works, but also why it's being implemented.
Right.
It's about fostering a culture where staff are empowered to see AI not as a threat,
Yeah.
but as a valuable tool that can actually support them in providing better care.
I like that.
Yeah.
So instead of fearing job displacement,
Right.
they can be trained to work alongside AI,
Exactly.
making their jobs more manageable and, dare I say, more fulfilling.
Absolutely.
Now let's get to the heart of the matter here.
Okay.
How can AI actually assist with early dementia detection?
Right.
This is the part I find particularly mind-blowing.
Okay.
So imagine a world where AI algorithms can analyze a person's entire health history,
Okay.
their current vital signs,
Right.
even subtle changes in their daily routines.
Wow.
And by connecting all these dots, these algorithms could predict potential problems before they even become noticeable to the human eye.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. But can you paint a clearer picture for me?
Sure.
How might this work in a real-life scenario?
Okay, so let's say we have a resident with a history of chronic conditions.
Okay.
That might be linked to cognitive decline.
Okay.
And now imagine machine learning algorithms,
Right.
which are essentially computer programs that can learn from data,
Right.
are constantly analyzing this resident's medical records
Okay.
alongside real-time data from wearables or sensors.
Okay. I'm with you so far.
So these algorithms might pick up on changes in their sleep patterns.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they're becoming more erratic, or they might detect a decrease in activity levels.
Okay.
Or an increase in confusion.
Right.
These subtle shifts, which might otherwise go unnoticed,
Yeah.
could be early indicators of cognitive decline.
Hmm,
And the AI flags these as potential red flags,
I see.
giving caregivers a valuable head start.
So it's not about replacing human caregivers,
No.
but rather giving them this powerful tool to enhance their observation and intervention.
Exactly, and this kind of proactive approach is potentially transformative
Uh-huh.
for both residents and staff.
In what way?
Well, for residents, early detection means a chance to maintain their independence and quality of life for longer.
Right.
And for staff, it could mean fewer emergencies, reduced stress, and hopefully a more manageable workload.
That makes sense.
But this brings us to another fascinating aspect of AI.
Right.
Its potential to address the staffing crisis that's plaguing the aged care sector.
You're referring to the shortage of qualified caregivers and the high turnover rates, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a huge problem.
And this is where AI's ability to optimize workforce management comes into play.
Okay. How so?
So, for example, a facility that's struggling with staffing levels
Uh-huh.
could use AI-powered algorithms to predict staffing needs based on resident needs and historical demand patterns.
Interesting.
This data-driven approach could enable them to schedule staff more efficiently, minimize reliance on expensive agency staff, and perhaps even offer more flexible work arrangements to attract and retain talent.
So it's like AI is becoming a silent partner,
Yeah?
working behind the scenes to improve dementia care from multiple angles.
Absolutely, and the potential doesn't stop there.
Oh, there's more.
We're also seeing incredible advancements in the Internet of Things, or IoT, as it's often called.
Right, IoT, yeah.
It's all about connecting everyday objects to the Internet, creating a network of smart devices that can provide real-time monitoring and insights.
So I'm picturing a world where everything from wearable sensors to smart appliances
Yeah.
are collecting data and feeding it into a system that can help us understand and manage dementia in ways that we never could before.
That's exactly it. It's like having a continuous stream of information
Right.
that can reveal subtle changes in behavior and health, allowing for more personalized and proactive care.
This all sounds remarkably promising.
It is.
But let's dive into some specific examples
Right.
of how these technologies are actually being used to benefit individuals living with dementia and their families.
All right, well, I'm particularly excited to discuss the rise of social robots
Okay.
and how they're being used to provide companionship and cognitive stimulation,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the growing use of wellness monitoring radars
Okay.
that can detect subtle changes in movement and behavior.
That sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
And we'll be exploring those topics and more in the next part of our 4-part series, so stay tuned.
Looking forward to it.
This is just the beginning of our deep dive.
Right.
It's amazing to think that we can now use technology to support people with dementia, right, in their own homes.
Absolutely. We're seeing some really incredible advancements in smart home technology
Okay.
that can provide an extra layer of safety and support for people living with dementia.
I'm curious to hear more about that.
Yeah.
What kind of technology are we talking about?
Well, imagine a home that's equipped with sensors
Okay.
that can detect if a stove has been left on or if a door has been left open,
What?
or even if there's a sudden change in temperature. You know, for someone with dementia, these seemingly simple things can pose significant risks.
Right, so it's like having a silent guardian watching over them
Exactly.
and alerting caregivers if something seems amiss.
Right.
That must be such a relief for families.
It provides tremendous peace of mind
Yeah.
for both the individual and their families.
And it's not just about safety, right?
No, not at all.
Smart home technology can also help with things like medication reminders.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's say someone needs to take their medication at a certain time each day,
Uh-huh.
but they're prone to forgetting.
Right.
A smart pill dispenser could send an alert
Right.
to the individual, a caregiver, or even a family member
Mm-hmm.
if a dose is missed.
Exactly.
That's really incredible.
It is.
It seems like these technologies are all about extending independence
Yes.
and allowing people to live in their own homes for as long as possible.
That's the goal.
That's really great.
It's about creating a supportive environment that balances independence with safety.
I like that.
But, you know, beyond smart homes, another area that's generating a lot of interest is the development of social robots.
Social robots.
Yes.
This one sounds a bit like science fiction to me.
I know it does.
Are we talking about robots that can actually interact with people
Yeah.
and provide companionship?
That's right. It might sound futuristic, but it's closer to reality than you might think.
Wow.
These robots are being designed to engage in conversations, play games, offer emotional support, and even provide cognitive stimulation.
Oh, I can see how that would be beneficial for someone with dementia.
Yeah.
especially if they're experiencing loneliness or isolation.
Absolutely.
But what are these robots actually like?
Right.
I mean, are they humanoid in appearance?
Well, that really depends on the robot's design and purpose.
Okay.
Some are designed to look and move like humans, while others might be more animal-like,
Oh,
or even have a more abstract appearance.
interesting.
The key is to create a robot that's engaging and non-threatening.
I see.
You don't want it to be intimidating.
Right, of course.
It has to be something that people feel comfortable interacting with.
So let's say someone is feeling down or confused.
Okay.
Could a social robot actually provide comfort or reassurance?
Yeah, imagine a robot that's programmed to recognize facial expressions
Okay.
and changes in tone of voice.
Uh-huh.
So it could respond with words of encouragement.
Right.
It could play calming music or even engage in a simple conversation to kind of distract the person from their worries.
So it's not just about having this robotic companion.
Yeah.
It's about using technology to create this personalized and responsive support system.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And some robots are even designed to facilitate cognitive stimulation
Oh, wow.
through games and activities
Yeah,
that
they-
challenge memory, attention, and problem-solving skills.
That's incredible.
It's a very exciting area of research with a lot of potential to enhance cognitive health.
Seems like we're really only scratching the surface of what's possible with these social robots.
Yeah, we are.
But I have to ask about the ethical considerations.
Of course.
I mean, we're talking about machines that are designed to interact with some of the most vulnerable members of our society.
That's right. And you raise a really important point. It's absolutely crucial to ensure that these social robots are used ethically and responsibly.
Absolutely.
We need to be mindful of issues like privacy, autonomy, and the potential for over-reliance on technology.
So how do we strike that balance
Right.
between embracing the potential of these technologies
Yeah.
while also safeguarding the dignity and well-being of individuals with dementia?
Well, I think transparency and open dialogue are key.
Okay.
We need to involve individuals with dementia, their families and caregivers, in the design and implementation of these technologies from the very beginning.
Right. So it's about making sure that their voices are heard
Exactly.
and their needs are prioritized.
That's right. And this brings us to another crucial aspect of this discussion, the human element. No matter how sophisticated these technologies become, they can never replace the human connection. That's so essential for people living with dementia.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A robot might be able to play a game or offer a distraction,
Right.
but it can't provide a genuine hug
No,
or share a meaningful moment of connection.
it can't replace that human touch.
That's a powerful reminder.
Yeah.
As we navigate this new frontier of technology in dementia care, we must never lose sight of the human heart that lies at its core.
I completely agree. It's about finding ways to use technology to empower human connection.
I like that.
Not to diminish or replace it, but let's shift our focus to another type of technology that's making waves in dementia care wellness monitoring radars.
Wellness monitoring radars. This one piqued my curiosity earlier.
Okay.
What are they and how do they work?
Well, these radars are unlike the ones we typically associate with speed detection or air traffic control.
Okay.
They're incredibly sensitive, and they're designed to be placed in a person's home, where they can discreetly monitor their movements and even detect subtle changes in their gait or breathing patterns.
So they're not cameras.
No camera.
They're not capturing images of the person.
No, they're not. These radars emit radio waves that bounce off objects in the environment, including people. And by analyzing the reflected signals, the radar can create a picture of the person's movements without compromising their privacy.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It is.
But how does this technology translate into practical benefits for someone with dementia?
Well, let me give you a few examples.
Okay.
These radars can detect changes in sleep patterns,
Okay.
which, as we know, could be an early sign of cognitive decline.
Uh-huh.
They can also identify if someone is spending an unusually long time in the bathroom,
Okay.
which could indicate a urinary tract infection or another health issue.
Right.
And perhaps most importantly, they can detect falls.
Falls are a major concern
Yes, they are.
for older adults, especially those with dementia.
Right.
So knowing that a radar could detect a fall and alert caregivers instantly, that's huge.
It's potentially life-saving. And over time, these radars can also reveal long-term trends in behavior that might signal cognitive decline.
So while they're not replacing human caregivers,
All right.
they're providing this constant stream of data
Yes.
that can help caregivers make more informed decisions.
Exactly. It's about using technology to augment human observation and intervention, creating a more comprehensive and proactive approach to care.
I see.
But as we delve deeper into this world of data collection and analysis,
Yeah.
we also need to address the elephant in the room,
Okay.
data privacy and security.
That's a big one.
It is.
As we embrace these technologies that are collecting increasingly personal information,
Right.
we need to be sure that this data is being handled responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely. That's a conversation we need to have, and we'll be diving into it in the next part of our deep dive.
It's a lot to think about, isn't it?
It is.
All this information that's being collected
Right.
about people's movements and their health and their behavior patterns.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, how do we make sure that this data is being used responsibly?
That's the million-dollar question.
All right.
It's something that's on a lot of people's minds these days, and for good reason.
Absolutely.
Especially when we're talking about technology that's meant to help people with dementia.
Yeah.
We're talking about a population that might be particularly vulnerable
Right.
when it comes to data privacy and security.
So what are some of the key concerns we need to be aware of?
Well, one of the biggest ones is the potential for unauthorized access to this data.
Okay.
We need to make sure that only the people who are supposed to have access,
Right.
like caregivers and family members
Right.
and healthcare professionals, that they're the only ones who can see this information.
So strong passwords and encryption and all those cybersecurity measures?
Exactly. All of that.
Okay.
And it's not just about protecting the devices themselves.
Uh-huh.
We also have to think about where this data is being stored.
Right. So secure servers and all of that.
Exactly. Are there clear protocols for data access and management?
It's like every link in the chain has to be strong.
That's a great way to put it.
Right.
But beyond unauthorized access,
Yeah.
there's also the potential for data misuse.
What do you mean?
Well, what if this data falls into the wrong hands?
Oh, right.
Or what if it's used for something other than what the person agreed to?
This is where transparency is so important.
Absolutely. People need to understand what data is being collected,
Right.
how it's being used, and who has access to it.
They need to be able to make informed decisions.
Exactly. And they need to have control over their data.
Okay.
They should be able to see their own data, correct any mistakes, and even have it deleted if they want to.
This is getting pretty complex.
It is.
Are there any laws or regulations in place to protect data privacy?
Thankfully, yes, there are.
Okay.
Laws like HIPAA in the United States
Right.
and the GDPR in Europe. These laws set standards for how personal health information can be collected, used, and shared.
So it's not just about trusting technology companies to do the right thing.
Right. There are actual legal protections in place.
Okay, good to know.
And it's important for people to know their rights
Yeah,
and to speak up for their own privacy.
absolutely.
But it's also about the tech industry itself,
So?
taking responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
They need to make bigger privacy and security a priority from the very beginning.
Not just an afterthought.
Exactly. It has to be baked into the design of these technologies.
So as we move forward into this digital world of dementia care,
Yeah,
we need to find that balance
we do.
between using technology to improve lives and protecting privacy,
For sure.
making sure that data is being used responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
It has.
We've explored the potential of technology to really change dementia care for the better.
Yeah,
But we've also talked about the ethical challenges that come with it.
right. And it's important to remember that this is an ongoing conversation. As technology continues to evolve,
Yes.
we need to stay informed, stay engaged, and keep asking these tough questions.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of technology and dementia care.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.